Well, excited to be here. Obviously, us like the rest of the country is put fall camp to bed. Right? We just put fall camp to bed. Had a good 15 practices. Ended with good scrimmage, about 85 plays on Saturday night. So we're excited about it. We're excited to turn the page and get ready for SEMU. And it's been since 2014 since we've gone 1-0. So again, we got our work cut out for us. It's a good program we're playing against. But that is the goal to go 1-0 this year. So excited about it. Great opportunity ahead of us. Had a great couple of years. We want to keep it rolling in the same direction, and excited to get to work.
Coach, as you mentioned, fall camp's wrapping up. Now we're really getting into game week-like situations. And I guess this is a question for all of you and just how you guys are headed into the season. But just how is this phase of the season different? What is the mentality like knowing we're only a week and a half out or so from the first game?
Well, I know from the coaching staff standpoint, now all eyes are just on SEMU. The great thing about week one, if you spend a bunch of time in the spring watching them, getting an idea, you kind of go into the summer where you're kind of doing a little bit of your game plan. They play this coming up week, so we'll get a chance to watch one of their games before we play them. So we'll get a little bit more knowledge about them. But right now for us, it's just, after going through camp, putting together the best game plan we can on all three phases.
I think when you start the season, just like, everything goes in phases. You have the off-season winter training phase, you got spring ball, you got training, and then you got fall camp, and then you have the season. And every part of the process, you got to step it up another gear, getting into the next phase. So everything has to go up. Your film study, your treatment, the way you practice, the way you lead, everything has to intensify to go 1-0.
To piggyback off what he said, I feel like, we've been waiting for this for a really long time. And it's also very exciting. We haven't played football against another team in so long. So, we got all these things going, all this off-season training, and it just feels like this is all we've been doing. We haven't seen another team to put this, put all this work that we've done, kind of just throw it at them rather than our own teammates. So, I feel like this is a very big step, and we're very excited to take the step into the season.
Coach, any updates on the quarterback battle or quarterback situations? Have you guys picked someone out yet, or are you still working it out?
Closer to making a decision. We've taken, I get out with these guys, and I got it this morning, and I watched every single snap of the entire camp on all of our quarterbacks this morning. Spent about 3-4 hours watching it, and I think we're closer to that point. But since we have 2 weeks, we've got 3 good practices this week. I'm going to kind of reserve till probably the end of the week to make a decision on that. I want to see these guys compete just a little bit more, put them in a couple more situations, see who handles it the best.
Yeah. Any other position battles or battles for a certain position that you're looking at right now?
Well, really, it's kind of battle for depth. I mean, especially defensively, you don't just play 11 guys. You got a lot of guys that got to roll in and out, and who are going to be the role guys. I think we have a good idea of that. But right now, you've got some, 2/3s that are kind of battling out. Who's going to be those tackles that roll in? Who are going to be the ends to spell some of these guys? Who is that fourth corner? We're still battling with that a little bit right now. Offensively, I think we have 5 really good receivers that have had good camps. We've got 3 other guys that are more than capable. We want to see them step up and have some depth in there. And then really it's going to be where you contribute on special teams. I mean, when it comes down to that, who's on the travel roster and who's going to, be traveling with you, staying in the hotels and things like that and getting on the field. A lot of it's going to be how you contribute to special teams.
Yeah.
So there's still competition going.
Yeah. What for the battle for depth and things like that? What guys are you looking at to maybe kind of rotate in there for games that may have kind of gotten an edge on that right now?
Well, I mean, I think that the second quarter spot with Hobbs and Charles, those guys battling out. I mean, those guys are both going to play. We really want to see them step up this week. Clinton's had a really good camp. The safety spot, Lamar Kelly, we really want to see him have a good couple of weeks of practice. When I look at Tiasi, he's doing a really good job. I mean, man, he's striking. All of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, he's a guy who went on a mission after high school. He's a guy we offered early. Nevada offered him. He decided to go on a mission. His dad passed away when he was on his mission, so he came back early. So, he hadn't played a lot of football. Well, we got him in the spring, and he came in here and really raw. Again, he hadn't been eating the way he normally eat as an athlete and training and all that stuff. And in the last 2 weeks, I mean, I tell you what, we got a diamond on our hands. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. His strike, his pass rush. So guys like that, we really want to see them continue to ramp it up so they can add depth.
Yeah.
Coach, to backtrack a little bit, you mentioned you watched 3 or 4 hours of the quarterbacks. Between the 7 of them, that's a lot of snaps to watch this morning. If you can, who are some of those top contenders? Kind of like you said, you want to make a decision hopefully by the end of the week. Who are some of those few you're looking at?
Well, right now it's down to two guys. It's Parker Watt and Deuce Hogan. Those are the two guys that have, they're different. I think Parker adds a little bit more dual threat capabilities. Deuce is an older guy. He's been around a little bit. He's been in some different programs. They both bring some really good things to the table. Great thing is we have two guys that are more capable of starting. It's going to be on us to make the best decision for this football team, and which guy's going to make this offense the most productive. We know that we're going to have a challenging schedule ahead of us. We've got some really tough games right off the bat in the first 4 weeks, and so I wouldn't be shocked to see both those guys play a little bit, but I do want to, I would like to tag a guy and let him know going into the week, get him all 1 reps and get them going. It's a 2-man race right now.
I guess just kind of looking at the season as a whole, obviously you guys mentioned, you haven't come out with a win to start the season in quite a while. Obviously you guys are at home. This is a question for anyone. What do you guys have to do in order to kind of flip the script and change that? Any messages to your fans to come out and support you, or just that as a whole?
I mean, we got to play every game like it's our Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like whatever it takes to win. That's got to be the mentality every week. Like that's, I think, the biggest message of our program with Sanchez is go 1-0. Like no game matters. Put the game in front of us, and so we don't care about anybody else on our schedule right now besides Timo.
I feel like we just can't get complacent before the season even starts. I feel like we have to go into this game looking at it like this could be our last. Like I feel like every other season we just kind of looked at it like, okay, we're a great team. We're for sure gonna win this first game. I think we just have to look at this first game as any other game on our schedule. So yeah.
What would you say is different about this year's team that you believe you guys can probably come out and get it done and again flip the script?
I feel like last year, we had Coach Gill. He was a great coach. I feel like he made a great foundation for us. We have this boat, and I feel like nothing's different this year. We just have modified sails. I feel like Coach Sanchez done a great job of keeping what we already had going. We're still flowing, and he just added in his own bits and pieces, and I feel like it's upgrading us. Like as a team, as a whole, as a family.
Any more questions?
Yeah, Coach, I want to talk about Cordell for you. Of course we talked about him a little bit at the scrimmage. How you wanted to rest him, make sure he wasn't hurt for the season. Just tell me what kind of I guess what he's been like in the camp, and just what kind of maybe of a role you see him playing this season.
Well, the great thing is like these two guys sitting next to me. I mean, they've been around. These guys are, we're going into their third-year start. Cordell's going to his third-year start. He's a veteran. He's a guy that stuck with us. Obviously, we all know the offseason he had a lot of transition, a lot of turnover, a lot of guys going in the portal. He's one of those guys that stuck it out. And he's a really talented young man. We saw what he did in that Auburn game last year. You go back to that win we had against Liberty a couple of years ago, and then the bowl game, the catches he made. He's more than capable. I don't know if we've given him enough opportunities since he's been here. He's going to get plenty of opportunities this year. So, again, this last year, we played more twos and threes than anything. I think we played, 12 snaps. Yeah. Cordell was about the same thing with Pluto. We know the guys that have played a lot, who have a lot of snaps in real-time games. That scrimmage is more about looking at everybody else and seeing, who can contribute, So we expect Cordell to have a big year. I mean, if we're going to win the amount of games we want to, if we're going to fight for a championship, get to that third bowl game in a row for the first time in program history, we're going to need guys like Cordell to step up and have a great season.
Yeah. What do you feel like he's improved the most in from the off season and into fall camp? What do you feel like he's gotten better at than?
He's just done a good job of training. Coach Klein's done a great job with our entire team. He's bigger, he's faster. Obviously you can't put a price tag on knowledge. I mean, having 2 years of starting underneath his belt, he's just going to be a more mature guy. And, it's like anything else. The more you work at it, the better you get at it. So he's just going to be, one more year improved. And the biggest thing for us is we got to give him opportunity. I think we've given him limited opportunities in the past. And, this year he knows there's going to be a little bit more on his plate. He's excited about it.
Yeah, for the two players, what's Cordell like for you guys as a team, just as a teammate? Just what's he like just around the locker room and things like that? What's it like just being around Cordell?
Cordell's a great team guy. He always has been, and that's why he stayed. I'm sure he had an opportunity to leave, but he stuck around, so that means a lot to us. And he's always been a great teammate. Just someone that like after you're done playing, you'll always be in touch with him for sure. And so, I've been grateful to be with him since I've been here. And me and him came in at the same time. He's one of the first guys I ever knew when I got here. So he's a great teammate. Love that guy.
You got anything?
I think there's some people who are captains and there's some who are leaders, and I think Cordell's for sure a leader. Ever since I've been here, he just always had a leader vibe to him. And every day after practice or like whenever he, catches touchdown or whatever, he always comes to ask me. Like I talk to him every day. Like I just think that he has like the most humble vibe out of all of us, and he's a real cool guy to be around.
I I guess more, yeah, but two more questions for the two players. Just tell me how fall camp has been for both of you, just individually. Just what are some things that you guys have done? What have been some things that you guys feel like you guys have gotten better at before the season starts?
This fall camp for me, I mean, this was my sixth fall camp, so I've been in college football for a long time, but by far this was my favorite fall camp as far as the schedule structure one. I think Coach Sanchez did a really good job with it. Funny story is like my first fall camp, at the end of my first fall camp, I played Coach Sanchez. It was my first ever college football game. And they were a lot more prepared for us. And now I can see why because of the structure of the camp schedule. So having that structure, I think it just really helped me um, stay healthy throughout camp and get better at the same time and just improve the things that I want to improve on, which was really good for me.
Bless you.
I mean, I thought camp was pretty exciting. It was pretty cool. You got 15 days or 16 practices to just sit and you're only with your teammates. It's not really much to do, but that's what builds the team bonding within, the team. And I feel like a lot of that just kind of comes from the schedule we have. We're all going through the same thing. We're all tired. You know what I mean? I think Coach Sanchez does a great job of keeping us all just healthy enough to just keep getting through. We have each other to lean on, and so yeah.
Yeah, tell me a little about Coach Sanchez coming in for his first year, and you guys got to get adjusted to him and things like that. Just what's he like just as a coach and just as a person, and just how do you feel like you guys have adjusted to his style and things like that, and how do you feel like he's going to coach you guys in the season?
Sure feel like, Coach Sanchez, it's not like he just came out of nowhere.
Right.
He also played here. So just knowing that he has that kind of history here, it makes me trust him even more. He was an Aggie before I was an Aggie. So it's like I have a lot of trust for him. I got love for him. And I don't doubt anything that he does. I feel like a lot of the guys on our team, we're all just bought in. There's not really much question behind it. We're right behind him.
And it was an easy transition for me because, me and Coach Sanchez were on the same side of the ball last year and we already had a good relationship. Just, we've known each other for a while. And it's funny because I always told Coach Sanchez I wanted to play for him as a player and under him as a head coach. And so, it's a dream come true having him as my head coach for my last season. So it's exciting.
My name is Jack Nixon. I have done the radio play-by-play for New Mexico State for the past 44 years, and appreciate Coach Sanchez giving me the opportunity to be here to tell you that I'm going to do one more year and then I'm going to retire as voice of the Aggies. The reason is I still enjoy it. I feel that my eyesight and my brain is still good enough to do this, but frankly, I'm 74 years old and the travel has just gotten to me. I'm going to stay in Las Cruces. I'm the news director for Bravo Light Communications. I'm going to continue to do that, and I have some other projects in mind. But Mario's known about this for a while, and it's something that I've thought about starting in January. And I love doing this, and I love Las Cruces. But everything comes to an end, and I feel good about this decision. And if there's any questions about this, I'm happy to answer.
I guess my question would just be, as you kind of reflect back on your 44 years and your last year, what is the legacy you want to leave behind?
Well, that I was a good guy, frankly. If people think that you do a good job, that's an objective thing or a subjective thing, rather. It's a subjective thing. But I think that I love this town, and I hope that people here have warmed up to me, and that if they say, we enjoyed listening to Jack, and we enjoyed getting to know Jack. So if that's how people feel at the end, I think that'd be great.
I just have one more. I feel like this might be a hard one, but your favorite memory over these 44 years?
Well, that is very hard. My first game as voice of the Aggies was in 1976. It was an incredible win. New Mexico State trailed. We were playing at Drake. Aggies were behind 29-16 and came back to win 30-29. That was my very first ball game with the Aggies. Obviously, NCAA wins, bowl wins, things like that, and mixed in, and it would be hard to isolate it as one thing. I'm just very fortunate to be able to enjoy this, and so even though the games we've gone into it where I know it's probably not going to go the Aggies' way, I still enjoy that. So uh, perhaps at the end of the year I'll have a better answer for that. But the first one was really good and it set the stage for a very nice run.
What have you seen from the program when you first started and the changes that have happened since then all the way up to
Oh, well, let's see here. When I first came, the first 2 years when I was here, Aggies played in the old stadium. Now, you'll have to go on the internet and find pictures of the old stadium because it's long gone. So that changed. Obviously, the team was dressing in where they dressed was in the back of the art building back then. So the inauguration of the new stadium, and gradually as things have sort of evolved somewhat slowly, perhaps, but I think it's all been going in the right direction. I think a big turning point was when Mario Mocha became the athletic director. He's someone with a lot of energy and ideas, and he has really had the animo to, I think, take the program forward. Obviously, it's very good. I've done mostly men's basketball and football. I've done other sports here, but I would say just in general, when the school has gotten, let's see, money for improvements and things, they've tried to make the most of it. I think that's the case now. So I would say that by comparison, the Aggies are space age from when I started. They may not be space age when you compare them to Nebraska or UCLA or something like that, but I would say that they have really come light years, and I think that there's reason to think that the program will continue to improve.
what are you hoping for from the team and just in this final season before you step aside?
Well, I'm hoping that people give me like cash when I go on the road, and that they give me a great farewell. But to give you a better answer, I'm hoping, obviously for another bowl game. I hope that Coach Newton gets us into the NC2A tournament again. Those are obviously the great things. But I guess I'm hoping that we don't have travel problems. I hope that we play outside football. The weather's nice. But little things like that, really, little things like that are important. You travel to kind of faraway places a lot of the times, and the fewer distractions you have, the better. But I guess what I'm hoping for is just an enjoyable year and one good chance to see friends and colleagues along the way one more time. And if we have great postseason stuff like that, that'd be great. But you just hope for something that it ends up. People here being so nice to me, and however it shakes out, it will be great. Right?
What have you enjoyed most in your 4+ decades calling New Mexico State?
This is not original with me, but it's very true. The real joy in life are the friends we make along the way. And I left for 4 years. I thought that I could, I was kind of dead-ended salary-wise here. I know that's shocking to people who work here at Las Cruces that would be the case. But I left it, and I worked in the USFL. I worked in some other places, Tulsa and Denver, and made friends there. But throughout it all, the friends you make, the relationships you make, people that you run into, are the things that really sustain you. And there'll be exciting games, there'll be exciting players, and there'll be times when it doesn't go your way, and times when you get a bad interview or it's going to be something negative. But overall, I think that that's really it. The people you meet along the way and the things that you encounter with them as part of the journey are really what makes it.